First map is going to be Berlingrad Light Edition. Oh, what does this tell you, lad?
Oh, it tells me, mate, that we're gonna pop off the smallest map in the map pool. I should say the smallest rush distance in the map pool. And oh god, you were talking about how are we gonna get a passive ZvZ, mate? We're in Korea. Nah, mate.
That's right. And not only are we in Korea with both players, we're also on very low ping. So control will be pretty crazy as we see. Going into game number 1 already, planning on the 12th, playing for Alpha X. It is your red Zerg from South Korea. It's RagnaroK.
Going for the 12 pool, let's go! And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Berlingrad ALE, we have the man himself, the most fashionable pro player in all of StarCraft, representing Kwangdong Freaks. It is Armani.
Lad,
Yo.
that's not a spawning pool. My eyes deceive me.
That is not a spawning pool, mate. Armani has gone hatch first, and RagnaroK is doubling down with this. It isn't just a 12 pool, he's also sending a worker across the map to mine out these minerals. And do you think he'll go as far as to even throw down a spine?
I think Armani's seeing this drone already.
True.
Kind of putting alarm bells in his head. Why is that drone coming? As we see another drone coming down for Armani, but the Lings are already on the way, mate. And I think a spine, it could be possible indeed.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's threatening with it. He did show his hand with that drone. Lings are flooding across the map, by the way. This isn't necessarily all in because there is a hatchery behind this. But yeah, RagnaroK has to at least get some drone kills, at least even ideally deny the hatchery.
Yeah, as we see here, Armani is going to stop droning at 19 supply, so he's going to bank that lava to get some Zerglings of his own. But the Lings are here already, especially going through those mined minerals, and has to be careful with these drones here. He's going to try and snipe this drone.
The spine! Oh!
Gets it.
Yeah, the drone will go down. The spine will not begin here for RagnaroK. Meanwhile, the boys are being pulled. Looks like he will get one kill on a drone here. So far, the micro has been pretty good here for Armani. He has to buy time for his own Lings.
Yeah, and it looks like Armani hasn't pulled all that many drones, but he buys time for the Lings to pop.
Hatchery.
And RagnaroK's gonna commit.
Oh my god, he's committed. He wants to kill the hatchery, but I don't think he can. We do have a full surround here. Every single Ling is going to go down. We have 2 Lings left. He's trying to step. He's trying to micro. He's trying to get, but he can't. Oh, can he?
Oh, he's gonna commit. No, he does. Oh, he's gonna. Oh no, that's so depressing. But
wow.
RagnaroK, and those were the last 2 Lings he made, right?
Yeah.
That was nuts.
That was actually the last 2 Lings, and because of that, he has no more Lings left. We do see him evacuate the natural base. Armani is going for a counterattack. He has to. Again, this is the ideal scenario here for RagnaroK to get a kill on that hatchery. Now Armani has to reciprocate. He has to find some damage. The Queen.
That's it. Oh, Queen popping out, gets amongst the minerals, and looks like good surroundings. Might take this Queen out, but the trade, he's going to get the Queen, but lose quite a few of these Lings, as we see. Armani did pull out a gas, so he doesn't have Ling speed, so this is kind of really good for RagnaroK.
Yeah.
There's no pressure coming across. Obviously doesn't know that, but yeah, really good start to the game for one of our Korean Zerg players.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the Overlord's trying to escape the Lings, rock up, but a little bit too late. Okay, Armani does supply block RagnaroK, but oh, the Lings are here. He's trying to get us around on the Queen, and he will. He's going to get at least one of them. The high energy Queen at that.
He does indeed, and can't transfuse off creep, forcing this Queen back. He might even get the second. Imagine if he does. I think he will.
Wow. Oh my god, RagnaroK is cracked, mate. He's insane. He got the hatchery. He got 2 Queens. He successfully defended, and now RagnaroK, he is ahead in workers, and I love this. He is walling off, mate. He intends to preserve his gas. He doesn't need Ling speed. He doesn't have any gases at all, mate. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's just gonna wall off, kind of deflect these Zerglings, and expect him to take his gases soon. And pretty smart, you know, he doesn't have to take extra. Oh, killing that tumor. Doesn't have to take extra Lings, make extra Lings spend that lava. As he goes for a full wall, actually, as we said again, he doesn't know if Armani is getting Ling speed or not, but unfortunately, Armani's just He's what does he do like? What is he in this point?
That's a good question, right? This is interesting. I wouldn't have said this. I would have said maybe rush into mutas or something crazy like that, something wild, something out of the norm. And he went for a fast Evo chamber. He's going for +1 carapace over link speed.
Indeed, and what this kind of looks like, it looks like he wants to just go for a link flood. Does he fully take off gas? No, he keeps one on, keeping the options open. But yeah, and it's not a bad choice. As you see, he's gone. RagnaroK has gone for the wall off. He's going for 2 base roach. Expect to see him start +1 range soon, and the carapace will negate the Zergling's getting 2-shotted. So 3rd base down, going to snipe this overlord as well. Quite safely, as you see his opponents wall off, and expect to see a lot of Zerglings coming from Armani.
Yeah, I expect that as well. And we'll see if he's going to be able to break this base here of RagnaroK, because again, he's going to be working with a lot of roaches. He won't have any banelings to support his roaches, so there is that to take into account as well. Oh, nice snipe there on that creep tumor. But Armani's going for a roach warren of his own, and I guess that's the plus side of going for +1 carapace, is that this does not just influence your lings but also your roaches if you do decide to transition.
Yeah, that's right. Carapace is a little bit more expensive, but as you said, it does benefit both unit types instead of just an attack upgrade, as we see +1 range on the way. Sneaky 3rd base coming out for RagnaroK. Armani actually didn't see that. He doesn't have Overlord really quite nearby, so now he's got the roaches, so it should be easier to secure that. But as we see, many Zerglings being built by Armani, and what's he going to do here? Saturate his 3rd? Or just use it for lava?
I imagine just for lava, mate. The lings are being banked up, and right now he is gambling. He is hoping that RagnaroK gets caught out on the map. Again, if these roaches are behind the wall here at the natural, RagnaroK will be fine. But if he gets caught out, if he gets fully surrounded, then that's a bit of a different story. And looking at the vision of RagnaroK, he doesn't see a single thing. Now he does. No, he doesn't even see all the lings.
Not yet, as we see that the Overseer is going to come in, it's going to scout, there's no lair by Armani, and he's going to get back to safety, and it looks like Armani should be able to cancel the 3rd, but he's just going to die up, and RagnaroK might have overextended here.
Oh, exactly, we see a full surround, but the queens do have chance for his NG. It looks like 1 queen will go down in the end, the rest of the roaches as well, but with these reinforcements, it looks like the surround just wasn't good enough.
Yeah, even with the +1/+1 not finished by for RagnaroK, it looks like he's going to hold a random roach kind of joining the lings as well. I'm going to be commanding, as we see some Ravagers too. Looks like a Ravager ling follow-up actually, but like Armani's just pumping out lings. He's got no lair, he's got no kind of transition. But I think it's with +1 about, it's finished now. I don't know, like, I don't know.
I mean, we see where it's going. He wants the full surround. He wants to surround and then to bile the juicy center of roaches. We'll see if he can make that happen. So far, the star stepping is pretty good, but in the end, he gets surrounded. The biles! Oh.
That's the thing, this unit comp is so fickle, and GG is just cold as Armani. Unable to wrap around the roach army, and RagnaroK. Really well played game number 1.
Oh, GG, well played. It was well played, but it was also like so on a knife's edge. Like you brought it up, the natural base. It barely got killed. Like with the very last unit, with the very last hit, the hatchery was killed from that 12 pool. Like that was so close.
Oh, wasn't it? As we see, Saundo saying in the chat, this is how Light should play every ZvZ. I hope you RagnaroK, not Armani. But yeah, as we enter 2000 Atmosphere, is a bit more of a bigger map, a more traditional map that's been more figured out. More likely to see some macro play, but mutas is also another common route on 2000 Atmospheres. So keep your eyes peeled as we head into game number 2.
Oh yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we last that long. Especially because I'm sure Armani is probably a little bit upset about that game as well. You know, how that turned out, how things just kind of rolled in just barely in RagnaroK's favor. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one who decided to open up with an earlier pool.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like it's, you know, play styles do kind of reflect, or like play styles do reflect how players work, but in ZvZ, like, you can be aggressive, you can be defensive. It's such a volatile kind of matchup. So we'll have to see how it unfolds as we go into game number 2. Spawning in the bottom left, representing Alpha X from South Korea, it is RagnaroK.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player himself, representing Kwangdong Freaks. Currently down in the series, it is Armani.
Oh.
Hey, no one went for a pool first.
No, that's insane. Actually not super insane.
I mean, that's crazy.
I mean, yeah, you probably wouldn't say 12 pools oft on this map, but regular pool first is it is a possibility. But we see kind of both players. Their second overlord is heading to check the wider avenue that the links can take. So it's a map that's kind of been figured out the way that players like to open, and I guess just why bother trying to get damage with links done when you can just macro away, you know?
Exactly. So the openers are going to be relatively passive, but I am really looking at RagnaroK here. We were talking about it earlier, talking about how creative and unique he is with his builds. And he is. You know, we saw it last game, right? We saw him 12 pool, not just 12 pool, but there was a lot added to that. He was very committed with it. He even had a drone to mine the minerals and to throw down a spine crawler. Like, it was very well thought out and very well planned. And again, that's the kind of thing that I expect from RagnaroK, even if it isn't off of, like, you know, an early, like, aggressive opener off of 2 bases. Who the hell knows what he's going to do?
Who the hell indeed, as we see both players feeling more comfortable. They droned up to 21 supply before kind of, you know, they didn't have to bank lings because they saw their opponents weren't being too aggressive. And we see now RagnaroK droning away, Armani also droning away. And this is kind of the beauty when you have openers like this that are exactly the same. You can dip in with your overlord and see, you know, how many drones at the natural, have they pulled off gas? Do they have more drones at the natural than me? Do I have drones on gas? And we see though, RagnaroK and Armani both taking a third base at the same time too, so mirrored builds so far.
Oh yeah, very mirrored builds here from our players. Slight differences when it comes to how many links have been made for some of our players earlier on. We do see that Armani is going for a safety baneling nest here after said third base. We'll see if RagnaroK also goes for his or if he tries to skip it. No, he does not. Also, baneling nest.
Yeah, there we go. As we see, RagnaroK has got 3 drones on gas, but Armani does too. So really kind of similar play. They've even taken the same third base as the triangle third, so no players going for the more tucked away vertical. Sorry, horizontal base. My apologies. But yeah, it looks like we are going to have a pretty straight up game, at least until this inject finishes, which may kind of tell us who is the aggressive player and who's the defensive. I would have thought RagnaroK would have liked to morph those lings across the map to be aggressive, but no, he's just droning away.
Yeah, crazy. A nice change of pace here for RagnaroK, right? You know, after game 1, now he's calming down a little bit more. You know, he's chilling out here, morphing in these banelings defensively. Meanwhile, instead of going for an Evo chamber, Armani does go for a bit of a faster lair.
Yeah, that's quite a fast lair indeed, as we see. Armani going to be slightly aggressive, sees the defensive banes, and this tells you as an aggressive player, your opponent is not aiming to be too aggressive. Seeing the lings pop, he may have to make a couple lings of his own as he tries to snipe a couple drones, gets 2. But seeing no lair is exactly what we want to see. And this bane coming to the natural too, what a hit!
Oh, the target fire, is it going to be there? And it is. 5 drones go down in total. Nicely done here by Armani. And RagnaroK, he's reciprocating with just a mass ling flood. He's making nothing but lings right now. He's going to the third base.
Yeah, oh boy. And we see 2 banelings being more for Armani. Only a third now, but there's 2 banelings already here. And if he gets those 2 banes when they pop, like, Armani could be in some trouble.
Oh, he can. Meanwhile, no, the banelings are detonated here. RagnaroK does lose a lot of lings in the process, but he cleans up everything else. He's going to be able to get this queen, but does he have any banelings behind this? He does. They're waddling in.
Yeah, this is looking tough for Armani. His links get surrounded as we see Bane's coming to the natural as well. It looks like, it's going to force the lift off. Even more Banes too coming in.
Oh, they're trying to get in. We do have a full off of these queens though, so it looks like he can't break into the natural base. There's 1 more Baneling, 2 more Banelings here. They do kind of go up, but the third base goes down.
Yeah, the third base goes down indeed as we see RagnaroK straight back into droning, and correct move here by Armani throwing down the Spire. That's the kind of thing, like, we've got the benefit of hindsight. We see the production tab, we see what's going on, but if Armani knew how aggressive RagnaroK would be, he'd just sack his natural and drop a Spire straight away, but he was forced to invest resources into defending this base, which was a lost cause, and he's not out of it. He's got two bases, he's got the tech advantage, but yeah, bit of a tough position now.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if Armani's ever going to be able to get this third base up and running. I mean, he does have 3 defensive banelings, but there's a lot of links here for RagnaroK. He does spot this. He has his eyes on the prize here. How good is his Ling Bane micro? As he himself is going for roaches, and he's still in the dark about that tech switch.
Yeah, and actually, we still don't see a lair yet for RagnaroK. He's just droning, playing a low-tech game. There's a couple more Banes coming in. Gonna force these lanes to split up. And these trades, you know, Armani, because he's going Spire, these Banes are so valuable. He doesn't have to morph more. But it looks like the wall is a wall light, and I don't know if we're gonna have Inspire.
Did you see that? That's amazing. So the Lings of RagnaroK just barely were able to see the upgrades on the way here, specifically Glial as well as +1 range, but they get cancelled as soon as the Lings do leave because Armani needs it all here for these mutas, and he is selling a story right now to RagnaroK that he's going roaches.
He is indeed, actually. And we see the lair on the way for RagnaroK, and he might be feeling a bit, you know, comfortable. He's got the economic advantage. He can go roach versus roach, but we've got mutas popping right now as we see the first muta being spotted now. Armani going to an Overlord. And how is RagnaroK going to respond to this information?
We shall see. I mean, he does have the lair on the way. With the lair, he can go into his own Spire, he can go into his own Hydras and turtle up and go into like Hydra, Lurker, Viper. He does have options, but a lot of his Overlords are going to be going down here. Already these mutas doing a lot of damage and going to be giving Armani the breathing room to expand.
Yeah, I would have liked, oh, we might even catch these queens, goes for more energy. Really good snipe here. And RagnaroK, this is really tough now. The spores are in position. Might choose a muta, but I was going to say, like, I would have liked to see Armani, because RagnaroK had a lack of information, just go straight across and, you know, see what damage you get done. You can always come back for Overlords, they're quite slow. But it looks like he's going to be going Hydra Infester, so we're going to have some turtling style, maybe secure a 4th base, and yeah, it looks like we're going to have mass economy versus mass efficiency.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to take a while here for RagnaroK, and it may be a little bit difficult to take that 4th base. But again, you know, he has a plan. Hydras, Lurkers, they're all amazing, especially defensively. We'll see what Armani does here. If he does end up committing to the mass muta, or if he also tries to transition and switch into his own Lurkers.
Yeah, and getting this gas, guys, would be quite a good pickoff here for Armani, because it's going to slow down the tech that RagnaroK, who is being forced into a tech-heavy playstyle, it's going to slow him down as he gets it. Doesn't get that Overlord, but yeah, like, I'd expect to see, yeah, Armani the 4th base already. I would say it's a little bit, maybe slightly late for the playstyle he's going for. I would have liked to see it go down the moment the mutas pops, but he's in quite a good position here.
He really is. Ooh, he even catches the link run by as well. They were aiming to maybe force the denial of that 4th base. RagnaroK, again, he's forced to just turn around and go back home. He does not have the map control like Armani does. Armani has vision all over the place, and there it is. Armani is also going for his own Hydra Den. He doesn't want to get stuck into mass muta. He also wants to meet his opponent in those lurkers.
Yeah, and this is even though RagnaroK is having trouble getting information, getting scouting, the intel he receives on this muta ball is already kind of veering him in the right direction. As we see, he's dropped the hive down. He sees the muta ball actually growing, which tells him that Armani is committing, and Vipers would be the right choice here. So he even does get Lings in now, and they're going to scout the main and see the hive, but there's mutas that he's naturally has to worry about as well.
Yeah, the mutas, they bust on through. They have to be careful because there are a lot of Hydras, but there's no way to really lock these mutas down. They dance between the bases, pick off a couple units here and there, and it looks like, oh, they can even get the gas geyser.
Yeah, gonna get the gas geyser again. It's just abusing the mobility. Muta's a wonderful unit when you're playing with an opponent that has triangle bases. Terran players will know exactly as the queen goes down. Using the overseer to snipe a lurker too, and this is actually wonderful play by Armani. Like,
oh, it's beautiful the way that he's been able to maneuver with his mutas. At the same time, a mass link run by is headed towards the natural base. The wall is not, it barely is a wall, but the links actually dive on top of the Hydras.
Yeah, this is actually not a bad choice as the muta's coming to support. The lurkers are out of position, and this is really fantastic trade. And Armani just seizes the moment, and GG. That's it. When you're stuck on 3 base against an opponent with that kind of, you know, that kind of economy and that kind of just play style with the meters, you can't afford to lose those hydras as you build up your force.
Yeah, GG, well played. I'm honestly shocked by how well that move worked for Armani. I'm used to seeing like banelings roll in, and take down mutas. Take down hydras. But for Lings to dive on top of them with +1 melee, they did surprisingly well. Yeah, that was a great kind of opportunity that opened up for him, and he just took full advantage of it.
Yeah, especially when you consider that Armani knew there was lurkers on the field, right? He sniped on a third base. It's a bit of a risk to kind of jump in. You know, the safe kind of, I don't want to say smart thing, but the safe thing to do would just be, you know, take advantage of your map control, just keep building up, get your hive up. But he just kind of sensed an opportunity and just took it, and he got rewarded for that diligence.
Oh yeah, he really did there. And here we got, I'm glad that we got to see two like different aspects of our players here, and we got to see them both shine. We got to see RagnaroK with his builds in game 1, Armani also, you know, like just kind of faking out roaches and taking advantage of this false information in game number 2. Both players looking good in their own right, but now there can only be one. We're in the ace match.
That is right. Like, there can only be one ace match as well. I was gonna say, is it called a reverse sweep in a best of 3? I don't know how I feel about calling something a reverse sweep in a best of 3, but will it be the reverse sweep?
Technically, yes.
Found his groove.
Oh.
I guess yeah, but we'll have to see it. Spawning in the top right position, it is the red Zerg player. He took the first game in an aggressive kind of fashion. What is he gonna do this time? Representing Alpha X, it is RagnaroK.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player himself representing Kwangdong Freaks. It is Armani. Oh my god.
What? Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Am I crazy? That was a 14 pool, right?
Maybe you didn't see what I saw.
What'd you see?
Maybe you saw it. Actually, I just saw a pool first, mate.
Because they both made the first drone, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah, definitely. As we see, RagnaroK just. Oh, this is kind of smart, right? Because in some way it could look like a 14-14, but we see no gas just yet. It could just be a you know, just a slightly aggressive build to kind of unease his opponent.
Ah, and he is taking his gases behind this as well. Here we go. First 6 Lings are on the way for RagnaroK. Yeah, we'll see how this will hit here. Bearing in mind that Armani did open up with the more stock standard hatch gas pool. Nothing crazy from him. It's RagnaroK who's kind of spicing things up.
Ooh. Actually, yeah, I kind of like this because it's not super committal. RagnaroK is down in drones, but obviously because he's got 6 things out already. But you see, he's dodged the Overlord, and normally with a pool first opening, the Overlord can get there to see it in time, especially on this map. As we see, oh, so smart using this the Overlord to get away from his opponent's Overlord, and just getting those Lings out a little bit earlier allows him to be this sneaky. As we see, only 2 Lings on the way, and he's probably going to make 2 more with these extra larvae he's got now. 2 more drones.
Oh, never mind. He makes 6 Lings in the end. I feel like Armani has sussed this out a little bit, so thankfully he did not over drone. But before that happens, oh, how many drone kills can we get? It looks like, almost gets 1.
Oh, does get 1 drone. These Lings trying to chase these other Lings and make it another one. Yes, he does. And even a couple Lings too. I like to see him leave here, like, but quite a successful little opener here for RagnaroK.
Yeah, he does get 2 drone kills in the end, and he's link flooding behind this, by the way. Oh my god, he's just banking them up. Oh, let's go. Also, I did check with the VOD, with the stream delay, it was a 14 pool opening, and oh my god, right now Armani, he doesn't see anything. He doesn't know. He's going across map to scout now.
Yeah, and we saw RagnaroK's Queen actually pushed away Armani's Overlord. We see a couple Queens at the front entrance too to push any more Lings away, but yeah, this is looking, unless Armani dives in and risks like losing these Queens, these Lings, which is what he's gonna do. What happens now?
Yeah, it has been spotted. Armani, you gotta make a choice, mate. He's gonna try and wall off at his natural base. He cancels his third base. Ay, ay, ay. And the wall is gonna be a solid wall, but again, there's not gonna be that much HP, and RagnaroK, he's coming.
Yeah, and if Ragnarok's smart, he'll probably focus down the evolution chamber on the right-hand side. A bit harder to re-wall there, as we see the wall is getting bigger and bigger. A spine crawler as well, and like this is it's like smashing your head against a brick wall. But how strong's your head?
How strong's your head, mate? Let's find out. The Evos are going to be falling. We do have more Lings behind this as well. Transfuses are going to help keep these Evo chambers alive, but okay, we see a cancel. That is a kill.
That's a kill indeed, and here we go. The right side has been breached with 2 spine crawlers. Armani even looks like he might actually have
No!
no.
Oh, the wall is on the wall. He uprooted at the wrong moment. The Lings are flooding on in. The spine is not helping at all. The Queens that were transfusing the buildings earlier.
Yeah, such a brave move there by Armani to kind of lift that spine, knowing the Lings are on the map, and now the Queen's going to go down as well, and that's going to hurt his economy as we see RagnaroK's already droning behind this, and the drone difference, and not only the drone difference, but Armani's not even mining at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Armani, he was forced to build so many buildings here instead of those drones, and a lot of lost mine time as well. The Lings are still alive in the main base, still picking off more workers.
Yeah, no, this is huge. Just look at the supply. We got 11 workers going down in total as Armani. Oh, how does he stabilize here? What advantage does he have? You know, he's got a spine crawler. Spine crawlers aren't the best against drones, really, unless it's 12 drone pool.
Yeah.
He sees the third base from RagnaroK, and his heart's got to sink, man. He's got to think this is looking difficult.
It really is, mate. Like, what does he have going for him? He has a Roach Warren, I guess, but he doesn't have a lot of gases, and he can't take more gases because his drone count is in the gutter right now. He's going cross map with his Lings. Slow Lings, by the way. I just realized Armani never even got Ling speed. Oh.
Yeah, no, it feels like a bit of a feint. I'd probably, you'd think you have to pull back here. He's not going to get much done, especially if his opponent's got Ling speed. Might just be a way to force out some drones from his opponent, but yeah, no, these Lings are not destined much longer in this life, lad.
Yeah, they're not long for this world. The Lings go down, and with the death of these Lings, that may just be the death of our Korean Zerg player, mate. RagnaroK with full map control. He has his third base. He has the drones. He's working on his own Roach army. Armani forced the full wall off again. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's 1 drone and 75 minerals. Kind of, that he can't really afford to lose, as we see. This spine crawler. Oh, God, RagnaroK might have sensed a weak point. No,
the Roach Warren is expensive. That's the one piece of tech that Armani has going for him, the Roach Warren, and we do see basically a full surround here. The Roach Warren is going to fall, forces Armani to rebuild it.
Yeah, keep kind of wall off, to salvage the situation, but when you're this far behind, you don't want to have to be forced into remaking tech buildings and re-walling off, as we see. He's on 2 base, he doesn't have the tech advantages, the upgrades. It's by the time he hits, he's not going to have, RagnaroK's going to have the same upgrades, so it's such a difficult position to be in, but it's the ace match, like, what can you do?
What can you do, mate? What can you do? I mean, he is fully saturated on 2 bases now. He is taking his gas. He's going for a lair. From here, he can do a couple things. Maybe go for like a Nidus all-in. He can go for Roach speed. What is the plan here for Armani? What is the Hail Mary play? Take a third? Okay.
Hey, at the very least, I guess you force out Lings from your opponent, right?
Yeah.
Even though the worker count is, the difference is not so extreme. Like, RagnaroK's been mining for so much longer, and the earlier you make workers, the more they mine. So Armani, he's just kind of hoping. Maybe he's just kind of coping. He sees the lair of RagnaroK, and he's just got to think, yeah, what can I do now in this situation?
Yeah, I mean, quickly checking, Armani does confirm the lair here with his changeling. RagnaroK is getting ready for a push. He's actually going to style in his opponent because it isn't just a regular push. We have a Nidus being thrown down as well, because why the hell not, mate?
Yeah, no, this is actually quite a clever move, because your opponent, they're not going to really have the resources to defend two locations at once, especially when they're down in army at this point already. So really kind of, like, it may be unnecessary, but it's quite smart in the strategic kind of, like, plane of things.
Yeah, it really is. Meanwhile, ooh, the first Nidus is spotted here by Armani, so he's going to move out and shut this down. At the same time, though, doesn't want to get caught out here. We do have Glaber Constitution finishing up for both of our players. RagnaroK, he still has his army behind this. He's going to reinforce here with the Niduses, and he's just going to force his way in.
That's right, Root Speed finishing up, the Spine finishing for Armani, but this Queen's just getting jumped on so they can't transfuse, and it just looks like, oh, actually, it's not looking too bad for Armani. You might be able to hold here, but look at those reinforcements coming in right.
Yeah, like, it wasn't looking too bad for Armani, but then we have a Nidus. And then we just have a wall of roaches encroaching on him, and in the end, a Korean Zerg player will advance, but it's not going to be Armani.
And GG, Alpha X's RagnaroK. A very aggressive kind of style, catches out his opponent, and will be moving on in the series.
Ooh, GG, well played. Congratulations to RagnaroK with a very spicy series, as we kind of expected. And yeah, with that, mate, he moves on to a qualifying match.
Yeah, wow. And as you said, like, it was a 14 pull, but it was like after the Overlord, so a little unique in that regard.
Yeah.
But that's just the trickiness that RagnaroK he kind of has, and the build, like, it's something you don't see very often, but it had a very specific kind of goal in mind, and it wasn't until Armani actually scouted the natural of his opponent, knew it was a pull first, that he made those extra lings. But yeah, just very well played by RagnaroK, very mind gamey too.
Yeah. Again, like, mate, this is why, mate, he has the biggest brain in all of South Korea, mate. He's the most creative player. He has all these unique builds and unique play styles and a unique approach to the game as well. You know, like, how often have you seen something like that? You know, like a really weirdly timed 14 pool where you get out your lings, you avoid all the overlords, and then, you know, maybe those initial lings don't get too much damage. I think they got like 1 or 2 drones, and then you just link flood behind it. Like, it was crazy. Oh god,
indeed. It's all part of the grand plan. It's a multi kind of step plan. You know, the best players, they're already looking at step 2 and 3, or even step 4, while they're executing step 1. So it's it's something that you kind of don't really think about as the defender. Like, you think, you know, this is what I need to defend right now, but RagnaroK, he just kind of plays with the swagger and like the confidence, you know, so they take control of the game.
Yeah, some people are, you know, they think about the next step, the next couple of steps. RagnaroK, he's already in his mind, he's already in HomeStory Cup. He's he's already in Germany, mate. He's
yeah, you're not wrong.
Just like me, he's in the hot tub chilling, you know, with with like a margarita. He's looking fly, mate. And again, GG, really well played, really interesting ZvZ we had there. Again, not I didn't expect to see like a monotonous like Roach versus Roach. That's not what we got at all. Of course not. RagnaroK's involved, Armani's involved. But now we move on to a best of 5, and RagnaroK already has an opponent.